Welcome back to the iLocal Caribbean Reality TV Experience. Welcome to Reality with Tree. Here you get four perspectives. You get the Black perspective, you get the Caribbean perspective, you get the academic perspective, and you get the womanist perspective. So we're not just doing a deep dive, sometimes not as deep. Sometimes it's literally nothing happening, like in this episode of Love Island, episode 27. We do a deep dive, but we also try to take a perspective that's outside of like the mainstream and just add some layers of philosophy, some layers of womanism, some alternate perspectives, so that we're not just looking at the surface of whatever we're viewing, but we're looking a little further behind the veil. So like, comment, and subscribe, and let's jump right into Love Island episode 27, Love Island USA. Although I heard UK is not that bad this year. Wouldn't know. So we start off with Anaya, Mel, and Trinity having a conversation, and every time I see Trinity, I'm like, the ops are here. Anaya says she had a very good convo with Casey, and Casey owned up to everything. And again, Anaya is still blind, still no self-assessment. It's just all Casey. Casey feels bad. Casey. Anaya ain't done nothing. What a saint. What a saint. She says this is the most genuine she has ever seen him. And apparently she and Carl have good sexual chemistry. I ain't seen it yet. I have not seen it, but I could be biased. I could be biased because I think that Casey and Anaya really liked each other and they still have feelings for each other. So I think going off of that, like having that in my back pocket, I really don't see what chemistry she'd be talking about with Carl. Anyway, so we're speaking about Mel. We didn't get a conversation about Trinity and Bryce, but do we need it? Because they're literally non-MFK factors, like seriously. The relationship is so dull. So Mel says since it's just words and she does not know what to do with it, she feels like a fool to still like Sincere. And I'm looking at her like, vibes, don't worry about people judging you because most of us have been there. Where we like somebody that we know literally would kick us. I think there are very few women in their lifetimes who do not have an example of being stuck on a man who don't want them. It's pretty commonplace. I don't think a lot of us would not go as far as Mel, but a lot of us can relate. Like, let's be fair. Now, when Trinity encourages Mel to try with Sincere, I'm like, this is the same thing her man said. And I really don't understand why people are encouraging her or give Sincere a chance. Like, have we not seen her hurt enough? Have we not seen her break down enough? Let's encourage this girl to choose herself, please. But Anaya asks her what her heart is saying. Trinity tells her to follow her heart. So we know what her heart is saying, and we know if she follows her heart exactly what is going to happen. Anyway, we all know Mel ain't living Sincere. Maybe that's why they're telling her that. But anytime Bryce and Trinity are pushing a narrative, I'm always like, because for me, they're just productions bots. We have Casey, Sincere, and Corbin. Since I asked him how the chat went and tells him he seems relieved. Casey says she was more understanding. So Sincere makes a good point, that Anaya wanted him to feel down. And yes, Anaya really wanted to keep punishing Casey. But Casey does take ownership, like complete ownership. And he says that if he was a little more transparent, then things would have definitely been different. And maybe because we continue to lead um Anaya's contribution to the situation, and it's not fair to anybody, like literally. Sincere says, seeing himself objectively, he realizes how crazy it looked and he wants to clean it up. And then Sincere comes back with an analogy, as per usual, and he has a house of straws now. He has to build a house brick by brick. I'm like, Sincere, this girl, you will leave the house and then you will continue to be philandering because you already said that it should be normal to be texting somebody while you're in a relation, somebody else while you're in a relationship. So expect no sincerity from Sincere. Corbin says he's going to the tattoo shop after Love Island. So they're there chatting in the kitchen, and Titi asks him what he will get. Parmida jumps in. Says her name. Titi laughs at this girl. Something is wrong with Parmida. I can't put my finger on it, but something is not clicking. Mm-mm. Now we have a situation, right? Caleb does not feel loved by Jaiden. So he's speaking to Trinity and Bryce. And I think Caleb took a long time to realize that Jaden literally was just with him just to get back into the house. Like it's like the holy grail to get into the villa. Because the more exposure you get, the more people will want to tune in and say, okay, let me find their Insta and follow them, find their socials and follow them. So Jaden went to Caleb because it would be her one-way ticket to the house. And now Caleb is dissatisfied and he's complaining to Bryce and Trinity. Apparently, them say is a mom and dad of the house. Mom and dad where? So the crazy thing about it is that Jaden is like right there and hearing everything that he's saying, and she's telling the people that she's speaking to, it is so weird that he's complaining about me and I'm right there. So then she goes across and she's like, yeah, come speak to me. Like, don't complain about me and I'm right there. Complain to me about me. So they go for a chat. And the worst, like Kenzie is still on a mission to remove like any stain that had been attached to her during her weeks at Love Island. And she's like, yeah, Caleb has a habit of jumping to conclusions like he thought Corbin and I were kissing on the bench. Yo, what? How different is that from you sneaking off and kissing Corbin in the bedroom and didn't tell anybody? You swore Jen to secrecy. Like, how is it different? So she's just like, oh, Caleb keeps jumping to conclusions. Like, I think anytime Kenzie is on screen, we should have like this like holy song like playing in the background, like oh, play some Enya. Play some Enya in the background when Kenzie is on screen because that is literally what she thinks, what she feels she is. No matter how wildly she behaves, no matter how crazy she behaves, no matter what she does, she sees herself as an angel. That is what you call white power. That is the power of a narrative. That is the power of a global narrative that we all buy into, particularly the people that the narrative is about. So, Madam Kenzie believes that she's a saint, and you will see that further on as we go into the episode. So Caleb and Jaden have this crazy conversation and it's like a whole argument. And he's like, yeah, like you're not doing anything. Like she literally turns that shit back on Caleb and she's like, no, 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 it's the same conversation all the time. It's always he tells her she's surface level and she says like he can't even like have a conversation about random stuff and he just always wants confirmation that she's into him and like he is going to keep asking if he feels like you don't like him. And it's like a crazy like I'm just like me no speaky whitey because every time white people are sitting down and having a conversation in Love Island, I don't really understand what's happening. Like, what did I miss? What's happening here? Anyway, so they say that they're good, they'll try to work on it, etc. Even in the night when they're getting ready for bed, they gripe to like Caleb to the guys, Jaiden to the girls separately about each other. Now Caleb asks Gal if he's trying to rekindle, and he's like with Jen, and he's like, nah, nope, yet. How does Jen feel the same? It's the morning time, and we start off the morning with Jen. Oh, by the way, I'm very happy that the only mining of tears from Melanie that was only in the recap. So they didn't have any chairs to use for entertainment. And I loved it. So it's morning time and Jen is completely over everything. She even complains about breakfast, like she ain't got no syrup. I'm just like, could somebody get this girl out of the house? Like she's like 10 days too much in this house. Like, mm-mm. So Anaya, Melanie, and Kata, they're having a conversation in the dressing room. And Anaya apparently says she's Team Sincere. Kata is like, what girl? At least I appreciated Kata in the moment. And Kata is like, what about Melanie? She said, well, of course, I'm always Team Melanie or whatever. But I see Anaya and Kata having a lot of fun in the house. And whereas I thought that Kata, did something happen between Kata and Trinity? Because I don't see the two of them pulling like before. I don't even see Trinity like hanging with the girls like that. Did everybody get clued in that Trinity is a bot? Like, what's happening? Maybe Kata is not a bot. Maybe I was wrong about that. You know, I'm fine saying that I'm wrong. I definitely think that Trinity is a bot along with Bryce. But Kata is beginning to confuse me. Hmm. Especially the way that I see her hanging. I find she's around Anaya a lot in this episode, and I don't see her around Trinity that much. So, Sincere is being romantic. Sincere take rose petal, throw on the way to say less. Prepare breakfast. Man, it's like she doesn't have breakfast yet. Man coming with rose. Sincere is building his house brick by brick. Okay? So he pulls her and she is so happy. Mel deserves that. Like, Mel doesn't deserve Sincere, but Mel deserves a break because it's just been a lot. Anyway, they have a really good chat. I'm happy for her. She is happy. Um, Jaiden and Caleb have a conversation. He apologizes about the argument and she apologizes also. It's a pretty good chat, but like you really can see like Caleb, it's glaring and you feel it, you know it. This girl don't want you. So then we have Kata, Kenzie, and Jan having a conversation. And Kata tells them about Sincere's dress. So she thinks it's cute and she is kind of like sad that she has not had a date. Jen lies and says Jen is a liar. Jen, we have not taken time to speak about how Jen be lying in the house, eh? Jen be lying. Jen lied about the conversation that she had with Gal, made it look like it was mutual, but no, Gal like dumped her like a sack of potatoes. And now she's saying she looks around and everybody's coupled up and it has been like this from day one. Like she's the one who's not coupled up. I'm like, the way you were in bed with Gabe, it's like Gabe never existed. But anyway, this girl said she would never speak to Gabe. She would never speak to Gabe in real life. Crazy work. This girl came in there, she wanted a white man, and none of the white man wants she. Because let's face it, she has blonde hair, she has big boobs. So in the real world, she is like men would go for her. But when you're in a house like this, where everybody is a 10 and you come in as like a 7, then I think it was unfair that they brought her to the house. So I'm asking myself, Love Island, where are the hot white girlies? Do they not want to be on your show? Cause the pickings the pickings look a little slim that you would bring Jen. Seriously, like Jen is pretty. Don't I'm not saying she isn't, but when you look at the scale of hot girls in the house, Jen does not fit. And you know how human beings are. They just go for like whatever is like the hottest, or what they feel is the hottest in the house or in natural surroundings. So plopping her from everyday reality and putting her into this, it would probably be like a hit on her self-esteem, which happens to a lot of girls when they come into the house, by the way. But anyway, she is holding on to victim. Like at every point, you see that a white body in this space is holding on to victimhood. Sincere, not a white body, tries to claim victimhood, but nobody will allow him to. Everybody else, all other white bodies can take on victimhood. Sincere wants victimhood so bad, but nobody's allowing him to take it. If Kenzie can be allowed victimhood, hello. If Kenzie can give given space to be a victim, I think we can hold space for Sincere to be a victim. Hmm. So anyway, Jen asks, I think Kata asked Jen if Gal pulled her, she would be okay. And Jen says she would have a conversation, but she literally doesn't want Gal around her. Meanwhile, Gal and Dylan are having a conversation and they complain about Jen's negative energy, and she is pretty like Debbie Downer in the house for a bit, right? But again, I don't really understand what's happening. Me no speaky whitey. Gal is attracted to Amora and is not sure she likes him. And Gal, wrong tribu, wrong road. Uh-uh. Then we have Anaya and Kata speaking with Jaiden. They get the goss from Jaiden. Jaiden says they are trying. Jaiden, every time you speak about Caleb, like it literally like you look disgusted. You look disgusted when you speak about Caleb. You do not want this man. She says she sees herself with Caleb outside the house, so and she thinks last night brought them closer. Talk about trying to stay in the house. Mm-hmm. So while all of them are speaking, the text comes in for recoupling, and that is what you call slaughterhouse. What a bloodbath of getting people out of the house. Aye, mama. So Jen, obviously, everybody does the math quickly. You could see everybody's coupled up, and the only one who would have to make a decision would be Gal. And Jen says the guy she brought in is the one who will take out. You brought him in knowing him want Kenzie. I don't know what you thought about, like maybe your big boobies would have been like what would keep him with you, but you knew you were making the wrong decision. Ian takes a dig at Sincere. Sincere's about to have a conversation with Mel. And Ian, why is Ian taking a dig at Sincere? Like y'all just, I don't know, black and brown bodies. Black and brown bodies are not safe around you guys. Like seriously. Oh, saying he chased down the woman in producing and wanting catering to let them know he values their connection. Bitch, like Ian, STFU. Just stop. So Amara tells Gal that Jen was dogging him. Amara will do anything to stay in that house. Again, there's this desperation to stay in the house. And anyway, being young, like everything seems like the last opportunity or the last thing. But as you grow older, you realize that life is so expansive and anything that you miss out on is, as she herself said, rejection can be protection. You know, so if you're rejected from the house, vibes, it's also protection. So she tells Gal that Jen has been dogging him out. So obviously he would feel like, oh well. He goes back to tell Bryson Sack what she said and is wondering if she's just saying that so she can stay. Oh, I mean, yes, it's true. Somehow Jaiden still thinks Caleb is weird. Like this girl talked from two sides of her mouth. Two sides. You can't pull a Kenzie, you know. You cannot. You cannot. It takes a special kind of splitting activity for you to pull a Kenzie. You can't do it. You can't fake it like that. So anyway, recoupling time. Ariana walks in looking absolutely stunning. So she looks good. She looks really good. Everybody picks the obvious partner. But Carl gives a good speech. One of the lines was, "Revenge is sweet, but this girl is sweeter." Okay, Carl. I still don't see it for the two of you, but that was really sweet. Casey says he wants to carry TT as much as she carries him, and that's quite noble. I like that. And poor Caleb chooses a girl who does not want him at all. Gal chooses Amora, and we're saying goodbye to Jen. Why was Anaya so shocked that Gal chose Amora? Anaya is very clicky. Like when Saul said like they're clicky in the house, Anaya, Anaya, I do love you. I think I said that with a grain of salt, but I really like Anaya. But she is quite flawed. She is very clicky. Like, why are you shocked that Amara was chosen? You like Jen so much? Anyway, they say goodbye to Jen, and then we have Jen and Kenzie having this fake conversation. Again, me no speaky whitey, because why are you telling each other that you're besties and you'll be besties outside of the house when we know that is not true? Like, just be real. Anyway, two liars. Kenzie lies a lot, Jen lies a lot. Let's be real. So then they're hearing that two couples are being dumped. So they're on these like podiums, and couples choose two other couples that are least compatible and they give them broken hearts. So first Anaya and Carl go, they give to Amora and Gal because they're like everybody, like literally most people like Amora and Gal because obviously that's a new friendship couple. They also give it to Jaiden and Caleb because they had too many bumps too early. Very fair. We have Trinity and Bryce, Amora and Gal, and Jaiden and Caleb. They think that it is one-sided with Jaiden and Caleb. True. Jaiden and Gal, Jaiden and Caleb go. They go with Amara and Gal, then Kenzie and Dylan. And Kenzie and Dylan, they say the guy's into it, but there is not too much trust in what the girl is saying. And Caleb will take that chance to take a jab at Kenzie. Like, bow, bow, bow. So nobody trusts Kenzie in the house. I wonder what Kenzie like for real feels in the house because everybody is like has clocked Kenzie. Nobody will call her out, but everybody be feeling and saying things like behind her back and some to her face. So she must be feeling really ox in the house. And we have Kenzie and Dylan going. They choose Amara and Gal and Corbin and Parmita. This is a gag. This is a gag. Corbin and Parmita because the and that's what I told you that Kenzie will do anything in power to remove any stain that has been attached to her and put on somebody else. So everybody knows she's the lustful because that's the word of the season, lustful. Based in lust, lustful, lustful, lustful. And she cannot stand, Kenzie cannot take it that the guys thought she was lustful, and that's like weeks ago. And she kept being lustful. So she says Corbin and Parmita because the relationship is based off lust. Every time he talks about this girl, he talks about how he can see himself in her. Like these two are just Corbin and Parmita are very self-centered and really appreciate their own beauty. And they love that they're with each other because they believe that the other person is just as hot. Like it's just like a hot couple bonanza. And I think Kenzie is really jealous of that. So Corbin says the vote is out of spite, which is obvious. And Kenzie says, I just think it is a lustful relationship. And the funny part that got everybody was down laughing. Pamela says, no, from the outside, it may look like that to you because we are both very good looking. We both work out. I have like a worst Pamela accent, but I think it's a mix between being slow, struggling with like flawless English and being slow. Anyway, we have Parmida and Corbin going. And of course, they choose a Morangal. And Corbin felt backstabbed. It was Parmida's decision. That Mel and the sincere thing was Parmida's decision, and we could see in the discussion. Again, Parmida feels she in charge of Corbin, but when they leave this house, she will see who in charge and who is not in charge. Right now, Corbin is just like, yeah, let me chill. Let me just be with this girl. She look good. They have good chemistry. But when you leave the house, you will see who, because y'all like to feel y'all can tame the power. The BBD y'all see in front of y'all always want to tame it and cut it. But lakatan pakatan. What does that mean in English? You will find out. So Corbin felt says something strange. He says he feels backstabbed after movie night. I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe like when I like sort in the internet, I will learn like why he feels backstabbed. But he feels backstabbed by Sincere. But him and Sincere, they've been like talking in the house like after movie night. So I don't know. It looks like movie night had a lot of like falling out among the people in the house. Because I didn't understand that. But anyway, this is Pamida's decision. She says that Mel and Cynthia are toxic, which is true. Like, okay, I can give her that. And Mel says, yeah, like telling her the truth is like sometimes you need to hear that, which is true. I liked it. I still don't like Parmida. Amara and Gal currently on Rocky Road. They say it's Jaiden and Caleb, which is true. And they think that Melanie and Cynthia keep finding more pain points, which is very true. This was a very like, I think this was the one thing that happened in the house that you would say that production did not interfere in. Because all of it to me made sense. Like whoever chose whomever because out of spite, out of revenge, and whomever chose whomever because it was like honest. Like especially like a lot of people going for Mara and Gal and Jaden and Caleb. I think that was very honest. So Melanie and Cynthia go, they choose Amora and Gal, and they choose Kenzie and Dylan because Mel says that she does not think that Kenzie is done exploring, but because everybody's criticizing her, she has settled with Dylan. And I was like, boo, drop the mic and go. Drop the mic and go because on point. Mel, you ain't stupid, you know. And you cannot be dematized because you have not done that. Maybe you're like French fried matized. That was so true. We have Titi and Casey. They choose Amara and Gal. And they're questioning the connection between Kenzie and Dylan, so they choose them. Makes sense. Kid and Zach, Amara and Gal, and Jaden and Caleb because they are not seeing eye to eye, which is true. I was like, this was a very good challenge. No, well, not a challenge, but like choice of like sending people home. I think they did really good with that. And as they say goodbye to the couples, Kenzie goes to Pamela and says she's sorry. Pamela's like, nope, so you need to stop being petty. Pamela don't play, you know. Pamela in her slow self, Pamela don't play. I maybe she's not slow. I think I got it. I think she's trying to do like the Valley Girl accent, but the Valley Girl accent mixed with the Iranian accent, it makes her sound like she's slow. But she's very calculating, it seems. So she tells Kenzie, you think it is all about looks and it's not. Kenzie, she could just tell Kenzie, Kenzie, you're jealous of this relationship. You see that I'm good looking. You know that I'm hot. You know that Corbin is hot. You still want him. You would have still been exploring if you could. But he's mine now. That's basically what the conversation is. So then we have a shot of the Casa girls saying goodbye to each other. It was a teary goodbye. It was cute, but I don't know. That's maybe one of the episodes where I can't say production was meddling, production was, but I need to keep an eye on Kenzie, not Kenzie, Kato and Trinity because something's up there. Anyway, that was it for the episode. Very short, and it's a weekend. Time to go out and have some fun and pretend that the week before did not happen because it's usually like clogged with work. So enjoy the rest of your weekend.